here speaking with Justin Davis about The Boys. Tell the world how you doing.
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. Happy to be here. How are you?
Still alive, apparently.
Nice, nice. Yeah,
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 I'm still alive. Homelander did not zap me to death, and yeah, everything's going good.
yeah. I mean, it's been a crazy season so far, and I don't know if everybody's caught up, but even I just saw Hero Gasm yesterday, and some of the stuff that goes down in there. Just it's an action-packed season, so I'm happy to make it on this side of alive too, I guess.
When I saw that episode a month ago, because I get previewed these episodes, I didn't think it
Hmm.
would get this much of a reception that it did, because I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't think I'll be that blown away. But here I see on social media that everyone's watching it. It's extremely freaked out in a good way. So, what was your initial reaction when you saw it?
Yeah, I didn't expect to have as gain as much love and appreciation as well. When I first filmed it, I definitely didn't think about any of that. I didn't think that, what I had done and what I had the opportunity to do, especially on a show that large with everything going on, like you said, Homelander zapping faces off people. I didn't think that they would necessarily take into account, young Stan Edgar. But I've been so appreciative of the love and the support from everyone, and just to be a part of this community is humbling and grateful. And I'm fortunate to be jumping, to have jumped in with the boys. And I love it. I love the comic before, I love the show before getting on it, and then to receive this much love from their supporters has been amazing, really amazing.
I read the comic too way back then, and it's one of those comics where I could say DC used to be their publisher. Was they made a mistake of dropping it in the first place? I said that way
Yeah,
back then. So, did you kind of
yeah.
thought the same thing when you read it back then, also?
I mean, I think so, definitely, because I think what was important at the time was what was going to get studio lit, and those were sometimes the more safer option. And obviously, The Boys is not a safe option at all. It pushes the envelope in every sense, in every form, and in every way possible, and that's what I love that Amazon, and it's found a home with Amazon and with Sony, and they always push the card. And with them, you have the opportunity to really take this comic book series and turn it into a masterpiece visually, and that's what they've done. So I felt that way, but it's everything happens timing for a reason, and everything happens for a reason. And who knows what it would have been if they didn't have the opportunity to stretch and push the envelope in this way. It would have been a completely different story, and it wouldn't have been what's true to the comic. And getting to do it in this way, I think it's awesome. It's just maybe even better.
Now, you play as the young version of Stan Edgar. How was this pitched to you when it came to the audition?
Oh, well, I mean, I was just lucky enough to even read for the show in the first place. One of my friends, Kobe, is on it. She plays Ashley, and I've watched it, like I said, ever since season one, and thought her work was amazing. So when the audition came across my table, it was actually at the same time I was filming for another project with I was going in for a project with Vivica Fox, and it was just a very interesting time because it went back and forth for a little while, and that project had come up too. So it was like it was a flip, which one would happen. And you audition for things and you hope that something sticks to the wall. And of course, when I read this, as I've gotten older, I've started to pick, but this is, of course, something that I picked right away. I said, I have to read for this. Whatever I can do, even if it's a small cameo. And that's what's been beautiful is, like I said, in the later episodes, you see cameos by so many different actors that it's awesome that everybody was able to get on track. Everyone loves the show and hopes that they can just add to some sort of story in some way, so to read for it, I was gassed. I was gassed and I was hyped, definitely. But it was a magical opportunity, and audition process was a little rigorous, but to for it to be something like this, I'd do it a million times over.
What are some of your favorite memories when you was on the set?
Oh, well, we shot just after Canada got out of lockdown.
Oh,
So yeah, it was a very interesting time. We forget that lockdown was still a thing, but
yeah.
about a year ago, it definitely was. And so there were still like restrictions and things like that. But what was really great, of course, they were all really safe and testing was happening just about every day. So you were able to sort of live in that bubble and be with those guys and feel like you were a part of the family. And I think that was one of the best things about it. You know, I've been able to create lifelong friendships and a family with people who are on the show and people who have just worked on the show for years. And even that little bubble in Canada too. You know, I was able to create a small group and a small tribe that I love, and I can't wait to get back up there and see again. But I think that was it, you know, especially going through, I don't think anybody else necessarily goes through what each show goes through. And then to do it during a pandemic as well, you all get a lot closer. And some of them become just like your brothers and sisters. So everything with those crews were, those what I would say be my favorite times and favorite experiences up there.
It's also recently announced that the boys got picked up for a fourth season. So how
Yeah,
excited were
season
you
4.
and the cast once y'all got the news? Who did you speak with first?
Oh, well, of course I was excited. I mean, me and my friends from 1984, we have a whole group chat going on. We call it, I won't curse, but we call it paybacks, you know, and
Yeah.
because that was the group that they were called back in 1984. And, you know, we do different plays on words and stuff. But I text them right away because, you know, what I think Eric Kripke has said before is that, you know, there were spots in season 3 that hint at, you know, many other opportunities to expand the story in multiple ways. And, you know, just being picked up for another season means more opportunities to do just that, you know, and hopefully come back to explore this character more and live in the world of Vought, which, I mean, it's every actor's dream to live in that world. So if I can come back and play another day to, you know, be the young Stan Edgar or see where that whole sort of conversation even goes, I'm more than excited. But it all begins with the season 4, and I can't wait to see what they about to pull out the bag next, you know?
Yes. Speak about the younger version of us, Stan. What was your approach when it came to developing his dialogue? Whether it was by
Well,
yourself or with the screenwriters and the scripts and everything?
For me, I was given parts of the script early on during the audition process. I didn't get to see the full sort of scope of where that entire journey was going straight away. So I was just, you know, I went back to everything that I saw Johncarlo do. I've loved him ever since Do the Right Thing, which I know I've said many times before, but he's always been one of my favorite actors, you know, and watching him in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad and even Mandalorian. And recently I know he's doing the new season of Godfather of Harlem, but that's where I originally pulled from when I was creating this role, you know, because I had seen the boys before, but I also wanted to just bring in his sort of natural, charismatic sort of vibe and energy. And that's what I paid attention to, you know. I was most interested by the cadence and by his musicality and the way he moved and the way he spoke and his energy and how it all held so much power and substance that everyone listened no matter what, you know. And that was the most
It just came out of you, sorry.
right. Right, no, but that was always the most interesting thing about just, I think, Johncarlo and all of his characters is that no matter what he does, there's a sense of speech that he has that I think is a characteristic all its own, and you were left almost haunted by the character because he ingrains himself not just with him, you know, with you physically, but with the voice as well. And, you know, between his cadence and his physicality, it was just his demeanor too. I've always thought Johncarlo was just a really, you know, he's a bad dude, man. So to bring any of his energy and all of his essence into, you know, that's where I started. I wanted to bring as much of him to young Stan Edgar as possible while leaving room to grow for whatever could be.
My final question for you. You was also on Boardwalk Empire, and I also did watch that. Got to work with Michael K. Williams. So before he passed, you two did a lot of scenes together. What was that experience like for you? And where were you when you found out that he passed?
That's an interesting question.
Sorry, my dog.
No, no, that's fine. That's fine. No, that's a great question. So working with Michael was like working with one of the most amazing people you could ever come across in your life. Seriously, like, you know, you already knew that when you were in a scene with him that you were going to be pushed as an actor and stretched in ways that you hadn't necessarily been before. But then when something like that happened, it was like you got to sit across from an angel and experience something that very few people will ever understand again, and understand past just, you know, the work that he did and films they had, you know, put out already. So working with him was, it was magic, you know, and I got to experience the way he developed characters. And I thought that was amazing too, because he was very big and very into music, you know, and before he was even acting, he was a dancer, you know, and choreographer, and he would do all these different things with music. And so he infused that in character building, you know. He had, for Chalky White, there were playlists that he had that consisted of different rappers that would just make up the heartbeat and the soul of who Chalky White was. You know, there was Biggie, there was Nas, there was, you know,
Right.
there were these people who were larger than life, you know, and that was the backbone of Chalky White. And so it made me think about, what am I doing with my own character development, and what's the song behind the people that I'm building, you know? And that, I thought, was a genius way to go about acting, because we're more than just the things that we say. We're the heartbeat and the movement, the vibe that, you know, we may speak and something comes up, but when we're silent, it's like the musicality of our silence speaks even louder than our words can sometimes. And to find that in a character and music, I think is beautiful. And working with him was awesome. But Boardwalk, just in general, it was an awesome time, and going back there, even now, just looking back at some of the things now, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe, you know, I was getting my undergrad at the time. I can't believe that I was able to work on that show. And ultimately, when I found out about Michael, I was filming The Equalizer with Queen Latifah, and we were able to have a moment to the side about it, because I know, you know, just they were close to, and what was circulating at the time was her interview with him when she had the talk show.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to make sure, you know, we were shooting a lot of scenes together that week, and I wanted to make sure that she was good. But yeah, I was on set for The Equalizer filming that week, and that was just after I got back from working on The Boys. So it was it was like a Bermuda Triangle of moments. But yeah, it was all, what came out of it. With The Equalizer was this beautiful sense of understanding, and I think it made me and Queen Latifah able to communicate better as well, which was magical for, I think, on-screen stuff. But yeah, we were working together on that when I found out.
And very, really inspiring. I've watched him way back on The Wire in the early 2000s, and
Of
he's really
course,
phenomenal.
Omar has come and, yeah, unfortunately gone, but Omar will always be here to stay. Yeah.
Yeah, Baltimore is also an outlaw town, so that's a topic for another day. Happy to speak with you today, Justin.
Thank you. I'm happy to speak with you as well. Thank you for having me.